Welcome to the Find My New Life podcast. I'm Christopher Lapine, spiritual liberation author and speaker. This podcast brings you inspiration, hope, and answers for how to live a modern, God-centered spiritual life. It will help you have a more direct, deeper experience of God, find more happiness, and live your incredible God-given destiny. You can find all my podcasts, as well as videos, books, and more at findmynewlife.com. So, let's get started with today's show. Hello, this is Chris. This is the podcast for March the 18th, 2023, my 11th podcast of the year, How to Find God, the Fair Path to Rebirth. In today's podcast, I'm going to give you these things: a reliable, direct path to God, very clear, fair steps, a way to verify the truth, a way to find peace, assurance, and security, a way to discover more, and a way to be completely energized and shifted. You may have had difficulty finding God. You may be having problems finding God, but I want to assure you, look, God has already found you. The very fact that you have a desire to find God means that He has found you and is in you and creating these very desires to find Him. So just be assured, He's there, He's found you, and He's going to give you everything you need to find Him as you put forth the effort. Your loving divine Creator longs for you to have a relationship with Him. He longs for the full embrace of you. You are His precious, irreplaceable child, and He wants you to know Him and is going to do everything He can as you open yourself up. He is going to do everything to help you to enable this relationship for eternity. So, be sure to stay through the entire podcast. I'm going to give you really the key to new truth. And that key to new truth is that you have to risk in order to feel that new truth. You have to come with an open heart and mind. A better life means changing the way you've always thought and changing the way you've always acted, because your thoughts and actions are really having a huge effect on what you're experiencing in your life. You have to be willing to suspend judgment, some of the things you've thought of before. Listen to your inner spirit. You'll feel some hope that starts to grow in you, and it's not too good to be true. Accept it. Don't squash it. Of course, in the end, you have to make your own decisions about what you think is true. So please, let me take you on this journey. All right, very succinctly, here's the summary. This is how you find God. Very simply. Number 1, you need to enable your transformation. Number 2, you need to spend time with God. Number 3, accept the reality of God within. Believe. Number 4, live the love and truth you are given. And that's really it. So the rest of this podcast is about all the details, the secrets, the recommendations for each one of those steps. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at it. The first thing we need to do is to really change the way we think about God, because the way we think about God, the way we've been taught about God, sometimes isn't true, sometimes is a little hard to take, a little hard to believe. So the first thing to realize is that there is a spirit of God within you. God has given you a unique piece of Himself that's going to be your guide to the truth, that's going to show you the way. It's going to be empowering you and is your direct link. God is your loving, divine Father, a perfect parent beyond your wildest dreams. No matter what you've been through, you may have had horrible parents, you may have had confused parents, abusive parents, I don't know. But allow yourself to experience what you deserve, the real parent you long for. Don't let what happened in the past rob you. Don't let it continue to rob you. If you've been abused, don't allow yourself to continue to suffer from whatever that abuse was. We all suffer when we are disconnected from God, our true loving parent, our true divine Father. Don't let anybody rob you of the true experience of what a real divine loving Father is, who He is. He is fair and kind and gives you all you need. Your life has a purpose and He has a destiny for you. And the way He gives you to rebirth yourself and to grow is fair. The way He gives us to find Him is fair. No matter what we've been taught, it may be, we may have gotten some confused teachings, some negative teachings. The way really is fair because God is perfect and beyond anything that we can imagine, beyond the best human we can imagine. So when we keep that in mind, this is what it really means. Here are the steps in detail to find God. Number 1, enable your transformation. Come 100% wholehearted. You think about your desires, your need to do this, and be 100%. Come with the right motivation and attitude. You need to come as an unspoiled, trusting child, a child that would trust a kind and loving parent. Be open-minded. Be teachable. That means please suspend and let go of any prejudices or false teachings or negative experiences you've had, and we've all had them. Bring your sincerity and your faith in the search for truth and God. Be clear about that, what you are looking for. Come with your sincerity, that sincere desire to know the truth. Come with a sincere desire to grow. Feel that hunger for the truth. Feel that hunger for growth. Let this dominate you 100%. Number 2, with that foundation, spend time with God. You want to do it frequently and for longer and longer periods of time as you are led by those desires for growth and the desire for truth. Share everything with the Spirit of God within you. Remember, that Spirit was sent, was given to you by God. Intensely tell God that you want to find Him. Intensely share all of your feelings, everything you've been going through. If you're angry at God, if you're confused, whatever you are feeling, pour out your entire heart, every thought, every desire as intensely as you can to God. Make time for God. Do it frequently for as long as you can do it. It may be a minute or two one day, maybe 3 minutes the other day. Whatever you're doing, be patient. You're planting little seeds and they will grow. And again, as you're going through that, it will take a little time to build momentum. But keep going back to step 1, which is enable your transformation. That's the foundation for this whole thing. You need to remain wholehearted, need to feel your desire for truth and faith, and be open-minded. And keep cultivating that every day, and you will see changes. Okay, so you've enabled your transformation. You've spent time with God. Now in step 3, when you're spending time with God, accept the reality of God within. Believe. When you start to feel God, when you sense the truth, when you feel the love, the embrace of the very creator of the universe, your loving, divine Father, accept it, believe it. There's no convincing that needs to happen. There's no set of really complicated, persuasive arguments, anything like that. You just feel it. All of us, we go outside, we see a tree, we accept the reality of what our senses are telling us. We see the sky. All right, there's the sky. Whatever it is, it's the same with the inner reality. So when you feel God and sense the truth, use your sincere desire for the truth and for growth and believe. Accept the reality. Believe so hard that your belief turns into the faith that changes the way you live. That's when belief becomes faith, when it changes your actions. You're accepting that reality. And the reality that you're going to get is this. Believe that you are a child of God, a person, your kind and fair divine Father, a real person you can have a direct relationship with through the very Spirit inside you. Accept the kinship with God as a gift, your loving divine Father. Also, accept the fact that the Father's attitude is total love, mercy, and forgiveness for whatever you have done and whatever you're doing. The Father gives total, unconditional love. Believe you are a cherished, beautiful child of God. I know you've got flaws. I've got flaws. I've done things I'm not proud of. I'm probably still doing some things that God doesn't want me to do. I'm probably not doing everything He wants me to do. But remember, the Father sees your potential in eternity, and He wants to have you begin that wonderful, wonderful trip. So 3, we've accepted the reality of God within. We've believed. First, 1, enable your transformation. 2, spend time with God. 3, accept the reality of God within. Believe. 4, live the love and truth you are given. Let your desire to be like God grow. Let it burn, that growth toward being the best possible person you can be. Remember, if God was here on earth, how would He live? Strive to live as the Father would live. The best example of that is the life of God incarnate when Jesus was here. The way Jesus lived His life is the way that the Father, the Divine Father, would live. So let yourself grow and be like God as much as you can. Now, being like God doesn't mean that you're going to be all powerful and be able to do all kinds of incredible magic tricks and so forth. No, it means be like God in the quality of who you are, in the character of who you are, of the way you love, of the way you search for truth, and show beauty and goodness. The other thing of step 4 of living the love and truth you are given is to listen and understand and live to the best of your ability the Father's will. Follow the Father's leading. Follow the Creator's leading for what He wants you to do in your life. Remember, you truly have a unique place in this universe. We are not all the same. And the reason we're not all the same is because we all have a unique role to play in the Father's plan for eternity, in this life and going forward. The other thing you want to do is let the truth motivate you. Raise your level of belief to faith, a faith that's so strong that it is enabling you to change the way you live based on that truth, based on that guidance. This is spiritual exercise where you're beginning to grow beyond what you thought you could be. You're doing things that you thought were impossible. Amplify your belief. Believe so strongly that you feel it changing the way you act. The moment you change your priorities in life, the moment you change the way you are living, the moment you follow God's leading, you are creating faith. You are acting with faith. This is not a one-time thing. It's a constant thing. Sometimes we're better at it. Sometimes we're not so good at it. But over time, it will grow and you'll go through this spiral. You want to repeat this entire 4-step process every day as you are led. Step 1, enable your transformation. Step 2, spend time with God. Step 3, accept the reality of God within. Believe. Live the love and truth you are given. That's step 4. And again, you want to repeat this process every day. And it doesn't matter how long it is, you just do what you're led to do for the amount of time you're led to do it. And you'll see progress from there. So, pretty simple process. God is fair. That's just the bottom line. When we think about the type of God He really is, it allows us to remove all of the clutter, all the misteachings that we were given. And there are a lot of them. Remember, the main thing that God cares about is that you accept reality and begin to try to live a spiritual life, a righteous life. If you are trying, if you're moving in the right direction, that's what He cares about most. You are a child. You're moving forward. If you have children, I think you can relate to this. If you've ever worked with kids, I think you can relate to this. I mean, you're not going to require them to do something that's beyond them. You're not going to punish them for things they have no control over. So again, this is the way to growth and life. I'm going to read to you several quotations from Jesus from the Urantia book. And it really ties together in an authoritative way what I've been talking about, the 4 steps. So again, keep an open mind and enjoy these profound quotations. When men and women ask, "What shall we do to be saved?" you shall answer, "Believe this gospel of the kingdom. Accept divine forgiveness. By faith, recognize the indwelling Spirit of God, whose acceptance makes you a son of God. Have you not read in the Scriptures where it says, quote, 'In the Lord have I righteousness and strength,' unquote. Also, where the Father says, quote, 'My righteousness is near, my salvation has gone forth, and my arms shall enfold my people,' unquote. Quote, 'My soul shall be joyful in the love of my God, for He has clothed me with the garments of salvation and has covered me with the robe of His righteousness,' unquote. Have you not also read of the Father that His name, quote, 'shall be called the Lord our righteousness'? Take away the filthy rags of self-righteousness and clothe my Son with the robe of divine righteousness and eternal salvation," unquote. It is forever true, quote, "The just shall live by faith," unquote. Entrance into the Father's kingdom is wholly free, but progress, growth in grace, is essential to continuance therein. Salvation is the gift of the Father. Acceptance by faith on your part makes you a partaker of the divine nature, a son or a daughter of God. By faith you are justified. By faith you are saved. And by this same faith you are eternally advanced in the way of progressive and divine perfection. By faith was Abraham justified and made aware of salvation by the teachings of Melchizedek. All down through the ages has this same faith saved the sons of God, but now has a Son come forth from the Father to make salvation more real and acceptable. In summing up His final statement, Jesus said, quote, "You cannot buy salvation. You cannot earn righteousness. Salvation is the gift of God, and righteousness is the natural fruit of the Spirit-born life of sonship in the kingdom. You are not to be saved because you live a righteous life. Rather is it that you live a righteous life because you have already been saved, have recognized sonship as the gift of God, and service in the kingdom as the supreme delight of life on earth. When men believe this gospel, which is a revelation of the goodness of God, they will be led to voluntary repentance of all known sin. Realization of sonship is incompatible with the desire to sin. Kingdom believers hunger for righteousness and thirst for divine perfection. And these divine, perfect teachings from the Master outline the 4 steps. Again, number 1, enable your transformation. Number 2, spend time with God. Number 3, accept the reality of God within. Believe. Step 4, live the love and truth you are given. Just think of what this means for your life. Once you go through this process, you will be absolutely certain you will have security in the midst of uncertainty. You will be absolutely certain you will feel and be completely energized by the arms of your loving Father. You will feel the total divine embrace. You will have new revelations of truth, new growth. This is an inner exploration, an eternal exploration of God and how much you can grow. Go for that total satisfaction of the answers you will find and grow. Believe the Spirit within you. Believe with all of your heart that you are a child of a loving divine Father. Believe that this faith will unlock the future of growth. Use your hunger for truth. Use your hunger for growth. Use your hunger to improve, to be like God, and serve others. Use that faith acceptance. You really have, please believe me, eternal, incredible potential. What real limits can be placed on you because you have an absolute fragment of the loving Father in you? When you are in alignment with the will of God, you are growing, you are creating your soul, you are unlocking increasingly amazing things that you can do, increasingly amazing destinies that you could never imagine. So unlock that future. Go forward, whatever you're feeling right now. If you're feeling alone, if you're feeling separated from God, He has given you a piece of Himself right in you. You don't need to search any further. He has a very fair way, and that is simply to spend time with Him, believe, follow His will as best you can. Spend time with Him each day. That's the good news. You are a child of God. You can find God. It's a simple way. You just need to bring yourself to that process. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate the support. The podcast is growing, and that's exciting to see that I am reaching more and more people. And if you find value in this podcast, please subscribe. And also, if you know of anyone who would benefit from it, please ask them to subscribe or at least share a link to the podcast as well. And if you have any comments or requests or suggestions, just go ahead and put them in the comments for this podcast. I'll review them, and that always helps me to create more podcasts. I've actually used a few questions to create some new podcasts as well. So everybody, thank you so much. Remember, you are a child of God and have an amazing destiny and can truly find God. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening today. I hope it helped you on your journey. Go to findmynewlife.com for all my podcasts and much more. If you'd like to contact me with ideas or requests, use the Contact Me link on that website. I wish you the best on your spiritual journey. Remember, you are a child of God and we are family. You could claim an amazing destiny. See you next time.